everybody, what's going on? I'm Chris, thanks for watching. This is a show. So Kareem Hunt, I wasn't particularly accurate on Kareem Hunt last summer, and to be honest, I kind of didn't believe he was a fantasy stud for too long last year, and so I feel somewhat chastened this year, and I do feel like my rank of Hunt is right around in line with the market. He's my running back 11. I think the market has him like 9 or 10, so end of the first round, beginning of the second round. Why, though, wouldn't last year's rushing champion and touchdown stud early in the year be even higher than that? I think I can maybe point out some stuff on film, mostly that I really like and that I whiffed on in 2017, but maybe a hint of some stuff that I didn't like as much, so let's take a look. I just want to show you a bunch of balance plays. I'm not sure I think Hunt is actually the strongest running back, but he gives the feeling of power because, oh my God, he's hard to tackle because he's incredibly balanced. That is a squared up hit from Casey Hayward. Let's not lose sight of what a real broken tackle looks like. And this isn't Leonard Fournette just saying, get off me, I'm much stronger and bigger than you. Because watch Hunt's feet here. He's not a huge guy. So he reacts, his body reacts, takes the blow, but he stays on his feet. He takes this unexpected shot and lands on his feet like a cat, and he's off again. Just a quick break to thank DraftKings for sponsoring this show today. And it's not too late. I still have the 2018 Harris Football Player Profile Almanac, very recently updated, and hopefully you'd like to take a look at it before you draft your fantasy team. If you would, well, DraftKings can get it to you for free when you make a first-time deposit of $10 at DraftKings. All you have to do is click the link that's below me in the show notes and go on over to DraftKings, make that deposit in a new account of $10, and within 24 hours, you'll get the almanac, which otherwise would cost you $17. So it's a pretty good deal. Thank you very much to DraftKings for sponsoring, and hopefully you enjoy that almanac, 200 plus pages, PDF, lots of fun stuff in there, film grades, and lots of snark. Anyway, thanks again to DraftKings, and let's get back to more Kareem Hunt. Okay, let's get back into it. This one has a different kind of contact. It's more of an ability to hop almost in anticipation of the contact, lessening the impact of the blow, but staying on his feet. I think that's a difficult thing to do as well. Hunt almost always gets squared up quickly, and he's going again. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the flashiest cutting guy, and I'll talk about that in a little while. But you always seem to be on your feet like Kareem Hunt does, like a cat. Again, it makes him hard to tackle, and it's a special quality. So there's want to, and on this play, Hunt shows want to because he stays on his feet even as multiple defenders grind him down, basically hanging off of him, and he somehow stays on his feet and leg strengths himself into the end zone. But really, it's the first hit on this play that I pay attention to. Hunt isn't a huge guy. He's honestly not generating a huge amount of force through contact as a runner, not running over people. But he takes the blow so well. That's a big hit from Chris Long. That's a man who outweighs him by 60 pounds. And Hunt, sure, he feels it, and it changes his direction. It spins him around. But how do you stay on your feet there? There just aren't a lot of running backs who would stay on their feet there. On this one, okay, a counter play. These are more glancing blows on this play, but again and again, hit my leg with some pretty decent force. Those are big legs he has, tree trunk legs, and those things need more if they're going to lose balance, I guess. And again, what we care about when evaluating running backs who do special things is when they have to make an adjustment, whether it's a cut or if it's a catch or if it's avoiding a hit, do they have to power down to make that adjustment? And maybe Hunt doesn't do all those things I just said, but time and time again, you see when he takes contact, he does not need to gather himself. He is going almost full speed right ahead again. So like I said, I whiffed pretty hard on Kareem Hunt last year, and I try to use it as an object lesson in what went wrong. And I'll say part of what went wrong was the small school. I had the joke that he was at Toledo, he was playing against the future gym teachers of America. But also what went wrong was maybe some misleading plays in week one, that huge week one against the Patriots where everybody got real excited about the result when the actual plays themselves, well, I'll show you. I mean, those plays themselves didn't make me think he was special. So maybe I made the mistake of assuming, well, because he made those plays and didn't do other special things, maybe he's not special. Anyway, I'll show you those plays and we'll see what we think. So it was a historic opening night. 246 scrimmage yards, 3 touchdowns. Hard for him, really, the whole rest of the year not to look like a cumulative fantasy stud after a game like that. 136 of those yards came on 2 plays. This was the first, beginning of the fourth quarter. I'm not slagging the play, but if I'm going to interrogate myself and try and figure out, okay, why did you go on the podcast and keep expressing skepticism? It was because, like I said, I'm not sure what special he did here. I just showed you special things, for sure, that he would wind up doing later in the year to make my analysis look bad. But here, I mean, I think a lot of dudes make that play against Cassius Marsh. Cassius Marsh did not last the season with the Patriots. He's a bad player, and I think a lot of running backs make that catch and run. Same quarter, fourth quarter, Patriots just let him get the edge. My footy pajamas are showing with the tone of voice there. That's horrible pursuit by the linebackers. There's not even any deception on this play. That's a 1st and 10 with a touchdown lead and 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's a stay in bounds, get a few yards, keep the clock moving, and all of a sudden Hunt is gone. And again, at the time, what I said was, I'm not sure that proves me enough that this dude is definitely special because he made 2 big long runs. These 2 big plays which are making such huge headlines, historic night, maybe it's the contrarian in me. It really might be a weakness of mine trying to kind of veer away from the big flashy headline, but I just wasn't sure we had someone special based on these 2 plays. And you know, I wasn't seeing, and really wound up not seeing, a lot of the self-created runs born of quickness. It's hard to prove a negative. It's hard for me to go through film and say, see, right there, he should have avoided that guy. He should have jump cut right there. Could you make that argument on this play? I don't know if we have the greatest view of it, but I guess you probably could. Maybe a jump cut gets him outside. It looks like to his left there, he's got some room. But it's not his style. He's not really that kind of creator. There are a lot of backs I would hire to avoid guys before I'd hire Kareem Hunt. He's kind of a contact magnet. So, you know, okay, that's not a huge component in his game, and that faked me out a bit. But let's look at a couple of cuts that are more subtle and very, very effective. This was not one of those cuts that I showed, say, from the Kenyon Drake film, where he just smash cuts hard off one foot and into this huge cutback lane, and it looks amazing. But this is cool. This is effective. Hunt is a good red zone runner, and he sees it. First, he sees number 50, a linebacker, slicing the backfield, so he cuts it right. And then there's a free runner coming right at him. It's Casey Hayward. And you can't argue against that little adjustment. That's Emmitt Smith stuff. Subtle, really nice, not super flashy. The defender, Hayward, there just sort of flops to the ground, and Hunt scores. A similar cut here. It's really effective. Now, again, it's not that you have a super flashy, amazing skill. You really don't see Hunt make flashy cuts that break ankles and set up wild scampers. He's efficient. And what makes a good cut right here, again, similar to the last one, he sees his blocker has sort of walled off a linebacker efficiently. It's not a massive change in vector, but efficiently, kind of a similar move. No wasted motion. Part of the balance I was raving about earlier. Now, I don't think shiftiness-wise we're getting huge playmaking talent out of Hunt, but this is a very fine vector adjustment without having to power down. Very crucial, without having to power down. Now, I probably don't need to talk to you too much about Hunt as a receiver. He's really sure-handed. He's exceedingly smooth. The West Coast offense doesn't need him running tons of downfield routes. He does it every so often, but it's more about misdirection, getting him open short, get the ball in his hand, we're good. This is not even that great of a, I mean, it sort of sticks out to me just because of what I was saying before. How fast Hunt can translate catching the ball into running with it. You know, it's a 9-yard gain, big whoop, but no wasted motion, no pitter-pat. Oh, cool, nobody's here, no gathering myself, let's go. And he's very good at this too, right? So I'm impressed at how little wasted motion and that means he's a good player. But let's pick a nit. We'll pick a nit for the purpose of maybe making a point. Now, I'm not going to usually spend a million years dwelling on film about a running back's pass protection, especially in Hunt's case, because I think it's safe to say that the workload was not influenced by his problems in pass pro. But it's worth noting that Hunt's size limitations and maybe even strength limitations showed up here last year. This is Vince Williams just running him over. It's not good. And this is the same drive. A minute later, it happens again. Hunt lined up to Alex Smith's right, and that's about as simple a play as a running back can be asked to make in pass protection, at least get in the guy's way. I guess Hunt does stand there. He's in his way, kind of. It's not an effort thing, to my way of thinking. It's a strength thing. It's a technique thing. It's weird for a kid with such great balance in other aspects of his game, but it's not good. And certainly he doesn't get blown away like this every time he pass protects. But I bring it up by way of saying I really don't want us to think of Kareem Hunt as some strong dude. It's more about balance. It's very strong legs, but not really a knock you over kind of running back. But of course, Hunt presents as a strong dude because he just has that incredible balance, and it's not something you see in a lot of running backs, and it is sort of his silver bullet. I sometimes complain on the podcast and here on the YouTube channel about running backs who can't create on their own, because you worry that if the good times stop rolling and the offensive line isn't giving him great space, if a running back can't create on their own, you sort of wind up with those really fallow weeks that can hurt you at the wrong time. But it may just be that even though Hunt doesn't do a lot of traditional creating on his own, some, but not a ton of it, that maybe that silver bullet of his is enough. That is sort of the equivalent of creating on his own, being able to stay on balance and on his feet, when most running backs who would take that level of hit just would not. And in the end, as I mentioned off the top, it feels like I've pretty well come in alignment with the market. I've come around, and I'm trying to learn my lesson on Hunt and see if I can sort of apply that going forward. And I'm going to be on the lookout for dudes who maybe I don't think athletically fit the amazing profile, but just have that extra quality that does give them the thing that allows them to quote-unquote create, even if they're not making a million guys miss. So Kareem Hunt for me, end of the first, beginning of the second, I'm just fine with it. I think the workload should be fine. I think it's a really nice player. And so in the end, that's what I care about. And here I am in alignment pretty much with Kareem Hunt.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.